Rose Ellen. I am coming to all of my stamping friends from my studio today to show you this sympathy card that I made using the Peaceful Moments stamp set, and I used my layering ovals framelits dies, and I also used a retired item, which I don't normally do, but this is one retired item that I am not going to give up, Crosses of Hope, and I'll show you guys how I did all of this. Of course, I'm going to talk about housekeeping stuff first. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm going to talk about a lot of products. If you want to buy any of them, you can get them here at my website, www.roseelleneastman.stampinup.net, and use the June hostess code. Anybody that orders over $35 in merchandise gets a free tutorial from me. It's a tutorial bundle, so it's 15 projects in that tutorial bundle. If you order $150 or more, then don't use that hostess code. And what we're going to do is get you your own hostess benefits. You will still get that bundle from me, so don't worry about that. And one more thing I wanted to show you guys. I know you were here last time when I made this card. It's kind of gone a little... it's really gone wild on the internet for me. I've never had so many likes on a card like this before. But I wanted to let you know, if you wanted to see that I changed up the way to angle these bottom pieces. I know in my original Facebook Live video I told you it didn't really matter. But the more I looked at it, the more off it looked to me. So I recorded a new video and I put it on YouTube and you can see it. And I wanted to let you know that look what I was able to find today. Got my fruit stripe gum. So I'm going to have a July Zany Zebras class that I'm going to be announcing in the next day or two. And this is one of the cards that you're going to make in the class. So I just wanted to show you that. If you like this card and you haven't seen the video yet, hop on over to my YouTube channel and you can see the video. I'll put the link in the comments here. Okay, so on to tonight's card. What we are going to need is, let me bring in all my pieces here to make the card. You're going to have your base piece, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 2 1/8. I don't know if you can see that. 2 1/8 from each side. So score 2 1/8 from this side, 2 1/8 from that side. Then you're going to have your white layer, which is just 5 1/4 by 4, and that's going to go on the inside. I'll show you guys the inside with Deepest Sympathy. And then you are going to have a piece of DSP that's 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 across. And then what you're going to do is cut that in half at 1 7/8. Now, if it's easier for you to just cut 5 1/4 by 1 7/8, that's fine. But I wanted to show you that for me, anyway, when I made my card, I wanted my pieces to line up. So I had to find out exactly, they went like that. You see how those two leaves match up there? I cut one piece and then I sliced it in half. That's how that's just how I did it. I used my layering oval framelits for this piece right here, and 2 of the white pieces, it's still in the same layering framelits. And then there are 2 crosses I got, and I'll show you which pieces I used. From the layering oval framelits, I used the biggest scallop on that side. And then diagonal from it, I used the second piece in. That one right there. Okay. Those are the 2 I used. And then for Crosses of Hope, which is a retired product, but I'll show you what I used anyway. It's these 2 crosses here. There was a plain solid cross and then a little bit more of a dainty cross right there. Okay, and then the stamp I used on the inside came from Peaceful Moments, which is this stamp set. I really, really enjoyed this one. It's got a lot of different sentiments that'll cover different occasions in your life. So, congratulations, thank you, every happiness, happy birthday, with Deepest Sympathy. That really covers a lot of, and then little ones that you can also put on the inside. And we did this base card in Misty Moonlight. And this DSP I got was from the bundle. I think I've shown this to you before. It's the Flowers for Every Season DSP pack. I've been calling it the new In Colors pack because it seems to represent all of the colors in there. Now, I know that I've done a card for you before similar to this. It's a little bit different the way I'm doing it tonight. This one was a fold where the frame came out and you put that back in. But tonight, what we're going to do is with this inside piece and the front piece, you're going to put them back in so that it stays in between those two right there. So that's how it's going to stay closed. If you just laid it on top, and I've done it several times, if you just lay it on top, you see how it kind of wants to be open? But if you put them in between those two pieces right there, it stays like a closed card. Okay? Oh, I see that I got some smush on it already. Maybe that's going to get a little rhinestone or something if I can't get that off. Okay, so first of all, if you like this, if you like my channel, if you like my Facebook page, press like and subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down twice, which means it goes away. I make myself laugh when I say that. So I guess it's time for us to jump in and make the card. Let's see. Oh, Nancy Jo says she's 7 miles from the beach in South Carolina. Hey, Brianna. Hey, Betsy. Hey, Sandra. Let's see. Betsy's in Canada. Heather Dorman's here. Michelle's joining from Staten Island. That's close to a beach. I mean, it's an island. It's up in New York. I'm from southern Westchester, so Staten Island is a little further than we used to go as kids, but I know where it is. Okay, so I'm going to set all this off to the side, and I am going to just fold the card first. So as I said, this is an 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score at 2 1/8 inch. That's what I said, right? 2 1/8 inch. And all you're going to do really is just kind of have them meet in the middle and then take your, what that was, bone folder, and score those down. Really get those nice and neat. These are the DSP pieces that are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. So they've got a little bit of a border around there. And like I said, I just like to match them up to make sure I'm putting them in the right spot. This is our new stamping seal. I've showed you guys already. I love it. It's very quiet. So I'm never sure 100% in the beginning. I had to get used to it on whether it's going on or not, but you can feel it. So it's a little bit larger and it's got more adhesive on the roll. So I think you're really going to like it. And it's so quiet. You don't hear click, 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 click. Not that that bothered me. Let me just make sure that's, yep, still going on the right side. Proper side. So for this, when I'm putting the second piece down, I'm obviously still trying to get the same border, but I'm also trying to make sure that it is lining up across the bottom and the top with that other DSP. So the second piece is a little bit more important, maybe? Because you don't want to have one leaning towards the top and one leaning towards the bottom. It will draw your eye to that right away. Okay, so for the inside pieces, I'll show you what I did. I'm sorry, for the inside cross pieces. I first put down my piece of white, Whisper White here, and I stuck that down in the center. I tried to stick it down in the center. I just laid it down and scooted it over is what I really did. How many people can center right off the bat? Me! Hey, Jewel joining us from a beach. Okay, that's a little taller up at the top. I can use my Picket tool, or since it's, oh, I'm going to show you guys something. Since I just stuck it down, it's a little repositionable at first. Now, what I want to tell you is when you pull this up, never pull the front piece because you're going to bend it. You always want to keep the front piece straight and pull the back piece off. Let's see if you can do that here. It just keeps it from bending. And you're not going to look at the back piece anyway. So it doesn't matter if the back piece is a little bent. You want the front piece to be nice and straight. Let's see if I can get this any more centered this time. Well, I am not at the beach, but it's been raining for a little bit, so I feel like I could be if I go out in the backyard. All right, the next thing I did was I used my mono glue to put this down because it's a very thin little line here. Now, when you cut these out, I just want to make sure you can see it's very faint, but you can see that there's a back side to this versus a front side. On the front side, you can see a little bit of the frame. So you can put the glue on the back. Before I do that, I want to show you how I cut that out. I just grabbed my Misty Moonlight paper and my 2 crosses, and I put them down on the magnet board for my die cut machine, and I just lined them. That's adhesive that's stuck on there. I just lined them up. You want to make sure they're not like that because that's not really centered. Whatever works for you to get it right into the center. It might not be centered on the paper, and that's okay. You just want the cross to be centered, the inside and on the outside to be centered. So that's how I cut it. Sometimes I do this on a piece and then I run it through the embossing folder so that it looks like it's, you know, like if it has maybe some polka dots on it, it looks like it's one mosaic piece. And I really like that. So for this, I'm going to, on the back part of this, just put a little bit of adhesive. I had it upside down for a good amount of the day, but now I just had it off to the side. Just give me a second with this one. Where is my other one that I held upside down all day? Putting a little fine little line on there because I don't want it to squeeze out. This adhesive has some latex in it, so if you have a latex allergy, be careful. And so if it does squeeze out the sides, it's going to leave your paper just a touch sticky. Now you can pick this up with tweezers if you want to and put it down. I'm going to try that. I have my regular tweezers, not my crisscross tweezers, so I'm going to try and do that. Let's see what I can do here. Where is there no glue? Up at the top. All right. And then I'm just going to have this centered. I hope my head's not in the way. I'm just going to try and have this centered left to right, top to bottom. Yep. There you go. Now with this glue, you have a little bit of time to work, but remember what I said about it if it squishes out the side. Okay. Now this little cross here, if you can see it, has a little bit of detail work on it, and it's just got like some embossed pieces that come out. You want to make sure that is the top part that you're using. And again, just a little bit of this glue. And this one I'm just going to lay down in there. Now it's going to fit perfectly because it was cut that way. Okay. I have a little bit of glue there I'm just going to pick up before it dries. Okay. Now, if glue does come out, we can always fix it. So it's never really a tragedy. We can always fix anything we do. I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight ink pad tonight to get the sympathy, with deepest sympathy sentiment on the inside of the card. This is a brand new stamp. I haven't used this stamp yet, so that's why you don't see a sticker on the back. And I am just going to wing it. You might see my head for a second, so hold on. Now you know if it's not straight, I'm just going to flip my paper over. What I do is you can't really see through it, but sometimes if it's a really dark ink, you might. So I just kind of stamp over where I did it. I wouldn't flip it over and stamp on this side because then you might be able to see it through. But if I stamp over it, whoops. Oh, my hand just totally moved. That's all right. I've got a stack of these inserts here because I make them so often. And this one is just going to turn, I'm just going to trim that off, and this one's going to turn into a piece of scrap paper that I might cut something like that out of. Try it. Third time's a charm, everybody, or maybe the fourth. Heather, can you stick up for me and say that this doesn't normally happen in class? It has to do with the with the lights over my head and the camera over my head. Okay, oh, let me put the top back on my glue before disaster happens. Okay. I also like this little finger grip in the new adhesive. There are 2 new adhesives. Did I tell you guys that? This is called the Stampin' Seal. And then there's also the Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, now I'm just going to center it over this piece in the middle of the card. I think that might be right. There you go. And that's the front of the card. So now we're ready to just put this together. Just see that there is a little bit where it didn't get enough adhesive in there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive and pull that off. That was not a little bit of adhesive. If you get it off quick, it's not bad at all. And if it does get on there, you can just take your embossing buddy, which we don't sell anymore, and you can, you know, just put a little bit of powder on it, so that's fine too. Okay, so for this one, we're going to pop it on top, but we only want to glue it down to this side of the paper. So I'm going to just flip it over and make sure I only get glue on this side. I'm going to point to it so that I don't mess it up. I want to make sure I don't glue both sides, because then you're basically just gluing your card closed. You don't want that to happen. Now you can put this anywhere. If you want to put it up top or in the center, I am just going to try and make sure that that cross goes right up the seam there. And pray that I didn't glue the card closed. See, there you go. And then for the inside piece, now we're just going to give that a second to dry. Again, when I cut this out, you can kind of feel on the edge here that there's an inside and an outside. So I'm going to put adhesive on just half of it. Here we go. And just stick it down to that side. Let's see. That looks about right to me. There we go. Usually it's Heather that has the issue of stamping things straight. Heather, I know you haven't joined me in the last couple of videos, but it's the funniest thing. I just can't seem to stamp anything straight. I just keep restamping and restamping 3 or 4 times. It's pretty funny. Hello, Andrea. How are you? And Nancy and Tess. So once we're done with that, I'm just going to, like I said, give it a second to dry. But you're going to just gently pull these 2 apart. Slide your card in there. And that keeps your card closed. And you're done with your card. That's the whole card for tonight. It was a nice quick card. Maybe, I think this took less than 30 minutes. Yes, you can use it for, you're right, Michelle, confirmation, first communion, sympathy. I mean, really, you could probably use it as a wedding card, too. If somebody got married in a church, you could use it as a wedding card. And don't forget, you always put your handmade by signature in the back. So, like I said, if you are going to get any of these products, minus the retired product, which is the Cross of Hope right there, feel free to use the June Hostess code when you order. Everybody is going to be put into a drawing, by the way, and you are going to be able to win the card I just made. Well, one of these cards. They're pretty identical, so I'm not sure which one is the one I just made, but you're going to win one of these 2 cards. Does anybody have any questions about anything? I can answer those now. If you would like, please like my page, like this video, and you can go to my YouTube page and subscribe to that, because what I'm finding is that while I'm doing a Facebook Live, I'm chatting with people, but when I do a YouTube, I just down and dirty make the card, tell you the supplies, and a lot less chit chat. I don't normally say hello to everybody. Oh, hey, Patricia. I'm glad you just joined. Oh, by the way, I still have your card, your Father's Day card kit. I think I'm just going to have one of my daughters drop it off to you tomorrow when they're like on their way to work or something. I sent you that link to the private video to make the card. For those of you that haven't seen, maybe you haven't been here yet, you still have a couple of days. I'll just show you guys right now. Scoot that off to the side. I did a free Happy Father's Day card, really to pretty much anybody that wanted it. Any new stampers, I thought this was great for them. I sent them a whole package of all the supplies. Let's see if I have them handy. I don't think I do. I have, not in a bag, but I sent them basically the supplies, all the cutouts, all of the papers they had. All they needed at home was a stamp set or nice handwriting, some scissors to trim off the edges, and some adhesive to stick everything down. So it was a great little Happy Father's Day card for wives that wanted to give it to their husbands or kids that wanted to give it to their dads. It was just a lot of fun. So thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. I hope you had a great time. I know I did, as always. We are going to be figuring out what we're doing for our live on Sunday because it's Father's Day. So I'm not sure if I am going to do it a day before, or if my amazing hubby is going to want to, like, I don't know, maybe he wants to sit by himself and watch a TV program or read a book or go on a hike, or I don't know if he wants, he's an introvert, so he likes his alone time. He might want to just go do something with the kids. So we're going to figure out something, and I will let you all know what we're going to do on Sunday. But until then, I hope you have a great day, and keep stamping. Stay safe. I hope everybody in your family is healthy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.